You already have everything you need to hit 10K projects with web design, so why are you not there? The problem isn't what you know. The problem is that you're sitting on fundamental knowledge that you're actually not using properly. And without knowing how to put it to work, you're going to stay stuck thinking that you need another course or another tool or another system, and you're going to waste another year. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you what that knowledge actually is and the 3 core principles that you need to hit those 10K projects or 10K a month. So what's the actual difference between a designer that's pulling in 2K projects versus one that pulls in 10K projects or 50K projects? It's the quality of the input. You already have a set amount of hours every single week, and some of those hours are more valuable than others. An hour spent landing a new client or delivering work this client is paying you to do is a high value hour. It's directly increasing your income. But an hour spent organizing your files or changing up your website for the 15th time is a low value hour because it keeps things running, but it doesn't actually grow your business that much. Now, someone bringing in 10K projects as a designer isn't 5 times more talented than someone bringing in 2K projects, but they're just spending a bigger chunk of their week on the higher value stuff. And I'm going to prove it to you. The designer stuck at 2K usually has the skills to charge more and land better clients and in turn earn a lot more, but most of their week disappears into these low value tasks that feel productive without actually increasing your income or growing your business. So when you zoom out, the single biggest thing that's separating between you and these 10K months is how much of your input actually turns into output. And so the real bottleneck is going to be your productivity, getting more of those hours to count. To fix that, you need to know the 3 core laws that determine whether or not you can do this consistently or whether you're going to keep losing your week to stuff that doesn't actually matter. Now, this first law might sound a little familiar to some of you guys, but it is surprising how many beginner and mid-level designers and even some senior ones don't apply this to their day-to-day jobs. So whenever you're in that high value mental state, whether you're doing something in Framer, you're building a new Framer site, or you're in Figma, you're trying to create with a new design, or some other type of high level work, your brain needs time to get into that type of work. What I mean by that is that it takes usually 10 to 15 minutes to get into that flow state, or sometimes even longer, to be able to get into those high level type of hours. And every time your brain gets interrupted, whether it's a notification or an email or something you just remembered about, your brain has to start all over again, loading all that context that just took you a long time to start and try to get into that flow again. And this is exactly why so many designers are stuck with these smaller projects, because they think that when they do high value work, they're sitting at their desks in front of their projects, but their brain is actually never on that full throttle mode. It's constantly just trying to get up to speed with what they need to do, but they never actually get there. So at the end of the day, you might be thinking, wow, I got like 10 hours of high level work in there. But realistically, if you count all the actual time that you spent doing things, it's only like 2 or 3 hours throughout the day. So I found 2 things that actually fix this for me. The first one is treating this in time blocks, doing all of your high level work at the same exact time every single day for the same exact amount of time in that day. Because when it starts to be something stable like this, like an actual mini project every single day, your brain starts to expect it. And if you treat it with that much importance, that's something you cannot do in that day, kind of like a meeting, or if you treat yourself as a professional athlete or something like you're not going to go to training. Well, this is that same thing. You need to do the high level work at this certain time. You need to treat it like that. The second one, a lot of people struggle with this, but it's cutting off every distraction that's possible in this time period. Now, I do this myself when I'm working with my phone, and I use an app called Opal. I'll put a screenshot up here, but Opal is, and it's not sponsored, but Opal is one of these apps that you can block certain sites or apps throughout the day, depending on different time periods. And I do this every single day, every weekend, every weekday, certain periods of the day. And I have different apps that are blocked because I know that the discipline it takes to not go on Instagram or Twitter or whatever during the day is very, very difficult because, I mean, they're engineering slot machines basically. So it's impossible not to go there. But if you want to start implementing this, I have a free blueprint in the description for you guys to download, and it maps exactly how to structure your day around the laws that I'm about to show you. And it basically is a template that you can use in your week, so you know exactly when to do this high level work and when not to. So that's the law of protected hours. It's basically the hours in the day that are protected with this high level work. But none of it really matters if what you're doing doesn't really take off in the end. And that's why it's crucial that you guys understand the law of simple systems. So whenever a designer or a freelancer starts to scale and starts to get serious with these 10K projects, they try to scale up their systems all at once to be able to match that level of work that they want to do. And I'm guilty of this. You start to create some super complex funnel, some crazy onboarding experience for the client, the perfect Notion dashboard, or all for a business that doesn't actually exist yet. But some complex system that you build from scratch, just because you want it to work doesn't mean it's actually going to work. Here's an example. If you've never landed a client with a cold DM system, it doesn't really make sense to go out and build the craziest cold emailing DM, Slack, LinkedIn machine because you haven't nailed the basics yet. The same way that if you haven't perfected your 2K client, it doesn't really make sense to be expecting 10K clients to love your process and your work. So really value the fact that you're still here and you don't have these 10K clients yet. So you have to find work, do the work, do it well, and then every time improve. That's the loop. And the loop should only be redesigned after you start to have too much volume. And the current loop, the current system cannot keep up with that. That's when you start to twist and tweak a little bit your system. And the reason that this matters for productivity is that building systems often feels like real work, like you're sitting down and you're doing this and it feels like progress, but it's actually one of the easiest ways to avoid the simple stuff that actually brings you money, like actually sending an outreach, following up, or working on your skills. So if you actually want to apply this, here's exactly what I would do. First, look at your current setup and ask yourself, what am I actually building that I don't need yet? If you have a Notion board with 12 different databases and you're still under 5K a month, then you probably don't need it. Just leave it until the end for when you're actually making that type of money. Second, identify a specific action that is going to bring you more clients, more income. For 90% of designers out there, that's going to be some form of outreach or optimization of their profile or something like that. Something that people can find you and they can pay you. And then use the first part of this video that we talked about with the protected hours to do that action. Make sure that you're spending enough time with this action. So now that you understand how to protect your time and how to keep what you're working on simple, there's one more law that determines whether your brain is going to trick you into filling your day with easy tasks or random tasks that's going to cost you thousands of dollars every single month. So around 10 years ago, I landed my first real design client. It was a full redesign, crazy project for only 4K, but at the time, that was a lot of money for me. So I sit down to try to get this project started, and immediately I get some notification from another client, and I try to go do that work. And then I'm like, okay, time to get started on the real one. So I sit down, start to look at different fonts I can try to compare. Cool. Wasted another hour and a half, try to create another folder to maybe start organizing my files. Nice, another 3 hours wasted. But the thing is that I actually felt like I was progressing with the project, when in reality, all these things that I was doing wasn't actually moving the needle. So what was missing here was the law of planned action. Fundamentally, our brains are wired to want to do the easier things first because they take less energy. And the hard things, we try to keep pushing them away further and further. Now, unfortunately, with freelancing, the harder things are usually what makes money. So for example, actually doing the work for the rebrand, the logo, the website, the writing the essay, whatever it is, that hard work usually takes a lot of energy. And so there's one simple way to combat this. Number one, put your work hours in your calendar. Schedule a time for you to do a concrete action. Now, we talked about this earlier in the video, but you can't necessarily write work on a client project right here. That is not going to help you. You need to put a concrete bite-sized version of this project into your calendar. So for example, you need to split your calendar into a specific amount of actions and then put one of those little actions day by day. So instead of work on a homepage, it needs to be a lot more concrete. Like for example, work on hero section that has the image on the right, the text on the left with this specific font. And that's when you're going to do it. That's exactly the plan. Now, you don't have to schedule your entire day like this, obviously, but it's those high level hours that are going to matter. And this is what making 10K projects successful comes down to. It's not about learning 1,000 different framer tricks or being the fastest framer designer or any of these things. It's about making sure that when you're actually in Framer, your productivity is placed in the right direction. That way you can use Framer to become a 10K designer. You can use Figma to create these amazing designs and you're not actually wasting your time. Now, if you combine these three laws to the three biggest levers you can pull as a designer, you're going to get to that 10K project much faster. So go ahead and watch this next video here where I'm going to break down the 5 best levers that you can pull right now.